Hello everyone, this is Charlotte Olson here at Ireland Elementary, and I'm honored today to be kicking off a new segment that we're going to be doing here on 18 WJTS News. That new segment is going to be honoring people in our community that make our community so wonderful, so great, and impact so many people. Of course, we are now calling this new segment Hometown Heroes, and I am lucky to be joined with our first ever hometown hero, Mrs. Nikki Roberts. How are you doing today?
Great this morning.
Awesome. So, woke up this morning, you woke up a hometown hero. Very honored. You were my third grade teacher. How does it feel, I guess, to be a hometown hero?
This is probably the greatest feeling of joy whenever a former student comes back and asks anything, asks for advice or asks to interview you or gives you a letter to say how I have impacted he or she in their life. I've had a few students come back and do that, and it's just, it makes my heart pitter patter, and it gives me goosebumps, and it just makes me feel good about what I have done.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You impacted me. I remember several memories being in third grade, even though it was a while ago, but still lots of memories. So why teaching? What drove you to teach?
Well, when I graduated from high school, I definitely was not going to go into teaching. My mother was a physical education teacher, and I knew when she came home, that it was a tough day dealing with kids all day long and their problems and their parents, and trying to find a way to get everybody to agree on what a child should do or how they should behave is hard because everybody has different opinions. So I went to Purdue. I graduated from Purdue in communications.
Awesome, no stranger.
Right, public relations. And I got a job. And I worked at that job for about 6 months, and I just wasn't feeling it. I went to the job, and it was a job.
Okay.
So there was an opening in 10th Street School in Jasper for a substitute teacher. They needed a substitute teacher. And I decided then that I wanted to take that position if they would give it to me. And I took about a 12-week leave as a fourth grade teacher, and I loved it. I went there every morning looking forward to it. I stayed there every night thinking of how I can make my lessons better, how I could get the students more engaged, and I just knew it was for me. So at Christmas time, I decided to re-enroll in college at Oakland City, and after a year and a half, I earned my education degree from Oakland City University.
Wow, awesome. So have you been teaching in Jasper the whole time?
Yes, I have been. I taught 1 year as first grade, and I knew that was not for me. First grade is so tough. I tell you what, those kindergarten first grade teachers, they have a lot on their plate because the kids have to be taught how to do everything. You take that for advantage, you just don't realize what they don't know. I'll never forget my first year of teaching. I had Abby Beckman, and I told the students that they needed to take their textbooks home and get them covered. We protect the textbooks because they have to last 6 to 8 years. Well, I got a call from Abby's mom, Stacy, and she said, Miss Litherland, which was my maiden name, Abby put her book underneath her bed and covered it up with a blanket. And I started laughing out loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, they took everything literally. These kids take everything literally. What I meant was they were supposed to take it home and put a brown paper bag on it and wrap it up, not put it in their bed or in a blanket. So we got a good laugh out of that. And that's probably one of my favorite memories of all time, of that covering up your books under the bed.
I can even remember that. I would go home and color on it. That was like the thing to do. You would color the paper bag you would get from Holiday Foods or something like that. So I can understand that. But so what, you already kind of touched on one of your favorite memories. So what do you look forward to on a daily basis? What kind of keeps you going to bring you in here every day?
Right, because some mornings it's not easy to get up. It's dark outside or cold. Right. But when you come in the classroom and you see the kids, good morning, Mrs. Roberts, and good morning. And, then you see some kids that are like, sometimes how I feel, how can I get them pepped up and glad that they are here? Because I see these children for 7 hours a day, probably longer than what their parents actually see them for their school day. So in a way, I'm their teacher, but I'm also their parent, and I want to be a positive influence. I want to be a person that puts a smile on their face. I don't want it to be a drudgery for them. Because it's a drudgery for them, it's a drudgery for me. School should be fun while we are learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Well, thank you for sitting down with us and telling us about your day and telling about those funny memories that I'm definitely going to take with us. And again, this is Charlotte here for the 18 WJTS News. We're starting off our new segment, which is Hometown Heroes, as I said earlier, which is honoring those in our community who make such a difference in the lives of others. And if you would like to nominate someone for a Hometown Hero, you can contact me at 812-482-2727, or you can send me an email with the name of your nominee at mailbox@wjts.tv. Again, thank you so much, Mrs. Roberts. Very honored.
Appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. Perfect. And we'll be seeing you guys later on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching, local people.